New crypto bill will unleash chaos. New crypto bill will unleash chaos. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harachakadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out the truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. And this lesson is entitled, New Crypto Bill Will Unleash Chaos. Coming from this video from M. Napor and company. Alright, pretty much going into this economy coming into a screeching halt. Alright, and this new crypto bill that was signed into legislation, which ultimately is a precursor to Revelation 13 and 16, the Charagma, and the MOTB. So let's watch a little bit into Lord willing is edifying. Right, and then notice that she says professor in economics, all right? Because the scripture speaks of these things happening during the last 6 of time, all right? The grinders ceasing, the keepers of the house trembling, and that's what it's ultimately going into, all right, this economy. But I'll just bring this one out first. This is Proverbs 23 and 5. It says, wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. And at any moment, any given time, this money system can get flipped. All right. You can go in a store and be paying with a paper dollar 1 minute. And then the next minute, this system is crashed. All right. And then the MOTB, the Charagma, according to Revelation 13 and 16, is implemented. And we've been seeing these things being massaged into the backs of Babylonians over the course of the past couple years. You got tap to pay has been rampant on the scene, where you only tap your card to pay for your items. Pay with your palm, which has been implemented in stores like Whole Foods, with Amazon, okay, implementing a system to where you pay with something, all right, with your palm, okay. So that poses the question, what would have to be inside your palm to be recognized by that system for you to go through with that transaction and pay, all right? So let's read a little bit more into this video. Economic chaos. Look, she says it again. Economic chaos. This is the book of, let's see where we're going. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the keepers of the house are going into the economists, all right? The financial doorkeepers of this system, the international bankers, okay, on down to the least of them. They're trembling because their cash cow, which is America, all right, is no longer lucrative. It's no longer giving them that same substance as it once was. And that's why this reporter here is alluding to economic chaos, all right, financial collapse, money failing, the paper dollar, credit card, debit card system being a thing of the past. This is not just something that's coming out of thin air. This is ultimately according to prophecy, okay? So it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and when you look up the word economy or economics on the etymology online, it goes into housekeeping. And that's what this is talking about. This is talking about the economy failing, all right? Those that were the doorkeepers to this financial system, the economists, all right, they're speaking out and saying that this economy is coming into a screeching halt, that the money is going to eventually fail, that we're coming into a recession like no other, that we're going into a scene of economic chaos, like this reporter says. Let's see.
The Senate just recently passed something called the Genius Act. It was a bipartisan bill passed overwhelmingly, and it would create something called
And notice it says passed overwhelmingly. So this agenda by the wicked elites, all right, to crash this system and implement a new technology according to biblical prophecy, all right, this all is aligned with the will of whom the word ignorantly calls God through his son, whom the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, all right. This is according to the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, around the 16th verse, where it reads, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a charagma in their right hand or their forehead. And if you don't have these things, you're not going to be able to buy and sell. That's what this economy is going into. And you have top leaders of the economic world saying the exact same thing.
Currency or digital currency. Could you explain first what a stable coin really is?
And notice he says digital currency, all right? The CBD system, which is pretty much CBDC, central banking digital currency, CBDC system, central banking digital currency system, all right? It's pretty much a platform that's going to be used by the wicked global elites, all right, to implement Revelation 13 and 16. And we've seen the talks of the Kikius Maximuses, all right, the E. Musk. We've seen the talks of the Jay Bezos, the Gates of the world, and their plans and their ploys ultimately to make this new system digital. So this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, and the grinders are the workers, the laborers of the society. All right. It's few and far in between right now to pretty much get a job that's stable enough to make ends meet, pay your bills, steady flow of income, and keep your head above water. All right. The scriptures speak about laboring and having little, earning wages and putting them into a bag filled with holes. And that's America in a nutshell. All right. The average person doesn't have $500 in their account for an emergency. OK, but they're waking up, grinding every day, working every day, trying to make ends meet to a dead end. All right. And that's the moral of this society. It's filled with nothing but laborers and workers with no work. OK, so it says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. You see, and it's going into bad times. The Lord is setting the scene for a great judgment on the earth. All right. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. Scripture say that the city of confusion is broken down. There's a cry for wine in the streets. All right. Joy is darkened. OK. And when you go into it in the NLT, it goes into gladness being banished from the land. And how is that so? It's going to go into this money system as well, because what's the thing that people enjoy and are able to say that if they have it, they're in a better spirit? Money, man. All right. Scriptures say money is the love of money is the root of all evil, the love of money. But also the scriptures say money is a defense. All right. So in a society that's driven by the love of money to coincide with a person's wealth, people equal having money to substance and value. All right. You're a thing of value. For instance, women, no matter how you look, if you have money, all right, they flock to you. That's how the society is set up. So once the money felleth in Egypt, all right, the true money is what's going to be sought after. And that's just wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And we're seeing that as well. All the elements of the society, music, entertainment, sports, all these different industries that Esau Edom has used to make America this the main cash cow on the planet Earth. All those things are failing. Hollywood, all right. The stock market is going to fail. The scripture says it's going to be a crashing from the hills. Matter of fact, I'll get that. And a howl from the fish gate. Roughly paraphrasing, this is Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate. And that's where the chief place of marketing goes on, a marketplace. All right, buying and selling and trading. Okay, and that's likened unto the stock market. And it's howling right now because the numbers aren't what they used to be. These economists, these keepers of the house, they're speaking out and saying, hey, there ain't much profit left in this place. All right. there ain't much you can pretty much get out of here for much longer, man. And what is that going to result in? Everybody pulling out and this place crashing. So it says that there should be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and then howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. If you look at the stock market exchange, it looks like hills, graphs, numbers fluctuating up and down, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, all right, determining where this society is going to head economically. And that stock market is going to crash, and there's going to be no way it's going to shake back or be mended, all right, or be healed. It's going to crash once and for all. So let's see if there's some more in this video.
It's a cryptocurrency, but it's a special kind of crypto. The company that issues it might be a bank, might be a tech company, might be a crypto exchange. Promises to keep it pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar. So it doesn't float like Bitcoin does.
So scriptures say, he speaketh smoothly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. All right, and that's Esau Edom. This is Sirach 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, and that's what he's doing. Oh, this technology is going to be one and the same, or everything you've been used to. It's not going to change. Things are going to be the same way they were. But all the time he's imagining how to implement the charagma, to implement this MOTB system. All right, this system that's going to go against Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because that's in his nature, man. All right, this man is the devil, and he has ruled the earth in such a manner to where when he puts his hand on something, all right, it's corrupted. Scriptures say he enlarged himself as hell. All right, so the scriptures also say never trust thine enemy, because as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching like he's doing in this video, take good heed of him and beware. Right, financial transactions that don't have to go through credit cards. So this new system that they're going to try to usher in and pull the rug from under the feet of the Americans, all right, it's going to be linked to this charagma, Revelation 13:16. But it says, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And I'll read it again, Sirach 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. That's right. And he's looking for that opportunity ultimately, and he's going to try to use his opportunity to implement the MOTB. All right. He's going to try to pull the rug from under the feet. All right. Just like he's been massaging this CBDC, this central banking digital currency system, into the backs of the world, in the stores, in the over the counters. He's trying to make you used to it, so when he comes down with great wrath, the people are going to accept it, and they will, man. All right, let the multitude perish that are born in vain. This is Revelation 13:16. It says that he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. And this word M-A-R-K goes into charagma, which we frequently go into, which is the MOTB. All right, which will be inserted in your right hand or your forehead. And we've been seeing that you've been having people that have been able to talk and communicate now that have had certain brain illnesses, but they've been able to do that through what? The C-hip, man. This charagma.
Strong's G5480.
Charagma. It says a stamp, an imprint, an M-A-R-K of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Mashiach. And there's many antichrists. The scriptures speak of many antichrists. If you're against this system, if you're for this system, Salaki, if you're against righteousness, all right, if you're for the ways of this world, all right, America, that's likened unto an antichrist, okay? It says the mark branded upon horses. It says a thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. It says a scratch or etching or sculptured figure, graven mark. And the scriptures speak of not making any cuttings in your flesh, as well as keeping your temple holy and not defiling your temple. Which if you take this MOTB, that's exactly what you're doing. It says karax, a pale or stake, a palisade or rampart. It says pales between which earth stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. Okay? And that's going into what? This MARK is going to be literally likened unto a stake. All right? Incision in your skin, man. All right? And the scriptures even say in Revelation, I believe, 16th chapter, if you receive the charagma, you're going to receive a grievous sword, man. You go into grievous sword, it goes into a malignant sword. Malignant means cancerous, man. All right? So you're literally putting sea answer inside of you, man. All right? So it says new crypto bill will unleash chaos. So Lord willing, this quick hit was edifying. I'm going to give infinite honors and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harachak Wadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings until next time. Kwame Yashala. Mighty Shalom.